records, he's got tapes, he's got DVDs, VSH, he's got a bunch of CDs, but he's got a show, it's the Groamy Show. It's the Groamy Show. Oh, it's the Groamy Show.
The Groamy Show is recorded live at 1206 West Robb Avenue in beautiful Lima, Ohio. We are only here to help.
All right, you're watching The Groamy Show right here on ZTO TV. And right now, my guest is Mishka Shamalama Ding Dong.
It's pronounced Lou Foster.
You guys aren't going to let me live that down, are you? All right, okay. Mishka Shubaly.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much for having us tonight.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. You're originally from New York?
No, sure, okay. New York is the place I've lived the longest. I lived in New York City for 17 years.
Okay, but you relocated recently, from what I understand.
Yeah, I didn't have an apartment for 2 years, and then I started talking to myself, and I was like, oh, that's why homeless people do that. That's creepy. And then I got an apartment. So I just moved to Atlanta.
Okay. Oh, well, cool. All right. If you don't mind me bringing it up, you had, demons, we'll say. Issues with...
That's a delicate way of putting it. Yes.
Okay, you're a fucking alcoholic. Is that better?
Thank you. That is the medical prognosis. Fucking alcoholic.
And because, some of that comes out, it comes out in your writing and things like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How bad did it get, if you don't mind my asking?
It's funny, I never thought it was that bad because, there were always friends in my circle who were worse. And, where I was like, well, I don't piss the bed on a regular basis, just a couple times a year. So it's not that bad. And I still think in the relative, sort of the after school special spectrum of addiction that I'm probably a 4 of just sort of snorting drugs and drinking and occasionally waking up on the street, but I wasn't clawing wires out of my skin, that type of sort of crack, shooting speedballs, paranoia. That it got bad enough that I quit. We'll put it that way.
And I don't know about. Well, we're happy that you did. How long have you been clean?
It's been 8 years.
Nice. Congratulations.
The most productive and boring years of my life.
I know, it's so funny because I'm trying to think. It was I don't know. One of the comedians, Bill Hicks or something like that, said, "Thank God for heroin. Otherwise, Miles Davis would have made shitty music." It's like. Oh God! Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, and for a lot longer.
Right.
This is a love song to depression, alcoholism, and suicide. Pass me the lampshade, I'm drunk again. Blew my drug money on a quart of gin. Well, I am a cultured man with tastes discriminating, but I'll settle for a tall glass of anything. Fell in love with love and death and darkness. If I'm a bad drunk, well, it's not for lack of practice. This is no modern romance. 'Cause I'm going home in a fucking ambulance. Well, am I the only one drinking tonight?
Mirrored medicine cabinet door like the hatch of a submarine. Bottles inside like buttons and dials and tiny backlit screens. Bloody footprints on the bathroom floor. In a hotel close to the airport. Well, am I the only one drinking tonight? The only one drinking tonight. Despair's an octopus with its head in New Hampshire. And tentacles everywhere. Well, am I the only one drinking tonight? The only one drinking tonight. The only one drinking tonight. The only one drinking tonight.
Thank you. You run marathons and shit like that too?
Occasionally I do. I turned 40 this year and I went out and ran a marathon that I was not trained for, and it hurt, but I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's I feel like the running stuff is really boring because, or at least it's boring to me, because running is you just sort of do it and keep doing it and then it's done, and it sucks for a lot of it, and the best you will ever feel when you're running is when you're like, yeah, hey, now I can stop running.
You can stop. Exactly.
But other people find it interesting, I guess. I mean, I always thought that my like pissing the bed stories were more interesting. But what do I know?
You know, and running has always confused me personally. It's like, if you're not chasing or being chased, why run?
I totally agree with you, and this is what I say is I dislike running less than I fear death.
Just makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes
it's
sense.
it's one of the things that keeps me sane-er.
Ish.
Yeah.
Sane-ish.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's my antidepressant of choice
Right.
now.
I get some of these questions from my producer, right? Okay, and
No, you can't throw them under the bus.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
You either got to commit
In the case
and
of
ask
this
a
one-
weird
in
question.
the case of this
or
one,
not.
because I think it's a weird question, but if people want to know, you're a vegan. What do you eat before you go running? Because I'm thinking you need to get some energy and stuff.
I'm so reluctant to use that word to describe myself. I'm the most reluctant vegan you will ever meet. I went to a doctor and he was like, mortality applies to you, right? And like, you can't just eat Twizzlers and keep living. And so I was just like, fuck it. I want to know things in this life. I want to learn stuff. And I always said I would try anything once. Mm-hmm. When I said that, I was talking about methamphetamine, but that also applies to veganism.
Right.
And so I radically changed the way I was eating, and like 45 days later, my blood sugar levels are normal, and I lost 10 pounds, and I feel less terrible. So
it's a crazy concept, what you put in your body. It's coming from someone that smokes and eats fried food, and but
yes, these producers are the worst. The bottom of the bottom. Anyway, this is a sad, sad song I wrote about for the child I'll never have. Well, there you lay in your diaper, just as cute as could be, propped up on your elbows and smiling at me. I drove in for your birthday, your mother drove me away.
that woman taught you how to crawl. That'll come in handy someday. Well, hey kid, hang on to your dreams, your stupid, hopeless dreams. They'll grow meeker and colder as you get weaker and older, making the same money you did when you were 17. No, it's never too early to throw in the towel, but it's always too late to die with dignity. So give up, give in, surrender without a fight. This is your last chance to snatch failure from the jaws of defeat. It gets worse. Wild horses on the jukebox, or whatever the hell it was. We were young, we were in love, we were drunk and on drugs. Your mom can say what she likes about how I wasted my time, but I had so much fucking fun burning out at 29. Hey kid, hang on to your dreams, your stupid, hopeless dreams. They'll grow meeker and colder as you get weaker and older, making the same mistakes you did when you were 17. No, it's never too early to throw in the towel, but it's always too late to die with dignity. So give up, give in, surrender without a fight. This is your last chance to snatch failure from the jaws of defeat. 12 years of public school, 15 minutes of fame, 8 hours, 5 days a week for a parking spot with your name. Compare the man you wanted to be to the man you became, and realize, man, those two guys, only their shoe size is the same. Well, I won't have any children. I never had a career. I have no fucking regrets. I guess I'll have another beer. Hey kid, hang on to your dreams, your stupid, stupid dreams. Thank you.
Your live album, Never Touring Again. A live album called Never Touring Again.
It's funny. I was
Why?
I was talking to one of your customers, and he said, "Oh man, I thought there would be more people here," and that was the working title for the live record, because that's the thing that that well-intentioned people say at virtually every single one of my shows, and I will say for the record that close the fucking door. We have everybody here who I want to be here. I don't want anybody else. This is it. We're at maximum capacity right here.
Right.
The Never Touring Again thing. I just I have a conflicted relationship with touring. You have two emotions available to you basically when you're on tour, which is like, this is the best thing I've ever felt in my life. I'm never going to stop doing this, and I'm going to break my guitar and set the band on fire just so I can go home because I'm done. And every tour I just say, this is it. This is my retirement tour. Fuck you all. I'm done. And then after like 10 days, I'm like, all right, what's next?
Gotta
You
get
know?
back out and do it.
Yeah.
Boxes and boxes of unlabeled crap. If I die now, will they ever get unpacked? Boxes and boxes of unlabeled crap. If I die now, they will never get unpacked. I can't remember when you were mine. I can't remember when you were mine. I can't remember when you were mine. 2003 feels like 1989. I'm sweet child of mine. And that nightstand I built for you, is it lonely for me alone in your bedroom? Does it cry at night, or does it understand as you tremble underneath your new man's hands? I can't remember when you were mine. I can't remember when you were mine. I can't remember when you were mine. 2003 feels like 1989. I'm sweet child of mine. All those messages that you've been receiving that I can't remember leaving. It's a small relief, still it's a good thing. You're deleting without listening. They disappear like pennies down a wishing well. Tiny good intentions on the road to hell. I'll go bankrupt and that well will overflow before you'll forgive me and let me come home. I can't remember when you were mine. No, I can't remember when you were mine. No, I can't remember when you were mine. I can't remember when you were mine. No, I can't remember when you were mine. No, I can't remember when you were mine. 2003 feels like 1989.
You've done some work with Doug Stanhope, apparently.
Who?
Some comedian.
Yes, I'm familiar with Doug Stanhope.
Yeah,
Yes.
are you familiar with him?
Yes.
You've written his thing. How did you make that contact?
I'm very glad you asked me this question. He was a fan first.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be cool.
I was high on morphine one night with my girlfriend / drug dealer, and
and the phone rang, and that was a point in my life where I still picked up numbers that I didn't recognize, and I picked up the phone, and it was Stanhope, and he was like, "Hey, I love your songs," and I was like, "Who is this really?" And then he brought me out on tour with him around the country, and he helped me get sober by providing me with every single drink I ever wanted and more. And now he resents my sobriety, and I tell him it's a monster that he created. So no, Doug is a fucking excellent dude. He's a treacherous person to eat mushrooms with, but but his dirty secret is he's a good guy.
That's got to be tough when you're playing in bars around all that alcohol stuff.
Yes and no.
Because you see the
yeah,
people that go to bars, like I remember when I was there.
Yeah, when a 59-year-old woman who looks like Robert Plant comes up and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a handy in the parking lot." You're like, I made the right decision with my life, because in the past I would have been like, "Fuck yeah, can my friend come?" But also, yeah, I mean, every once in a while, like I'll get a whiff of something and I'm like, oh, it's like the old Pepe Le Pew, where there's like the finger in the scent, and but I mean, I remember, I know what lays behind that door. I'm not going to go back there, and I try and eat mushrooms as frequently as possible, because that's food, and it's good for your brain, and it's occasionally fun, but before it gets weird.
I would just think it'd be so hard being around that environment. Recovering, because I saw Steven Adler in Walpock a few years ago. Steven Adler.
That was my first concert.
Really?
It was Guns N' Roses in 1990 or
that's
something.
That's sweet. This was him out on his own. Small bar in Walpock. And I'm thinking, how much drugs and alcohol do you have to take to get kicked out of Guns N' Roses at the time? And he was bad. And he's in a bar. But it was kind of cool because he walked into the bar, the merch table's over here, he went right there, didn't go anywhere near the bar, didn't want to be around that environment. I'm thinking, that's cool. I mean, he just seemed like a guy that, had a stroke years ago, and guess what? He did.
I was never as bad as Steven Adler. We'll clarify that. Not that there's anything, not that we should look down on him for that, but I wasn't to that level of addiction that he was.
Right.
But I spend more time in bars than any drunk I know. Right. I mean, I was working in a bar a month after I got sober. You just to say like avoiding temptation, it's bullshit, because you can get alcohol anywhere. I mean, I have a thing of fucking hand sanitizer in my car. Right. If I wanted to get a buzz, I could drink that. And I just had to get right in my head about getting sober and what I wanted and what I didn't want, and I'm done, man. I cannot do this anymore. I'm totally retired forever. Okay. And
like I said, I'm glad, and I'm sure all your fans are glad about that too.
They are not.
They are not?
No. People are incredibly disappointed in me for getting sober. I'll tell you, I talked to Scott Winland, a friend of mine and Lou's, and he said the first time he saw me after I got sober, he was like, "Man, I'm really happy for you and all that shit, but it's a great loss for our community."
Oh, man.
And I have a lot of fans who are like, "Fuck you, you're a pussy, like, have a drink with us," that kind of shit. But fuck them, because they don't know. This goes out to my buddy Jed, who just went to the bathroom. You fucking asshole. I hate you. You're dumped. It's over. I will be doing butt portraits for the rest of the night. I will be drawing them with my butt, because fuck you, man. Well, she burst into flame round the junior high family dinner table, but she found her safe place in pink hair, combat boots, and black metal. Teenage witch, yes, she's a high school high priestess, failing English, but man, can she spell. Ohio, you feel like you're getting sicker, but you're just starting to get well.
smoked grass and fell in love with the Nelsonville jail. Found her kicks on getting sick on brown liquor, white pills, and black despair. The cancer rate's rising, so let's do some drunk driving. We'll black out at every red light in town. Ohio, if your head is spinning, it's 'cause your luck's turning round. My baby, my darling, come closer, there's nothing to fear. I know the terror, the pain, the blood, the hateful tears. Baby sleeping in laundry baskets, kittens in your panty drawer. Ohio, you may feel like you're dying, but you are being reborn. Ohio, you may feel like you're dying, but you are being reborn. Ohio, you may feel like you're dying, but you have been reborn.
You have a song called Ohio?
I do. I have a weird history with Ohio. When I was
Well, welcome back. I guess.
when I was 17, I dropped 2 hits of acid and got in a pickup, a Miller High Life pickup truck, and drove out here with some 7-foot-tall mountain man with dreads, and drove out to Antioch in Yellow Springs. And when we got there, I was like, oh, this is it. I am there, and I just sort of because I've been listening to the Dead Boys, been listening to New Bomb Turks, and Perubu, and I was like, oh, the Huey Lewis was actually right. The heart of rock and roll is, if not Cleveland, Ohio, and yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of a ton of Ohio bands, and then I have a like sort of quasi love affair with Athens, Ohio, and a conflicted relationship with a songwriter from there. He wrote a song about Ohio that is falling out of love song, and my song is a response to him, basically.
Right. So you're digging Ohio this time around, right? So far?
Yeah. Ohio's the best. I love Ohio.
Yeah.
And everybody in New York shits on Ohio, and they don't fucking know anything.
One time I went to New York, I forget where I went in and I ordered a pop. And it's like, where the fuck are you from, Ohio? I'm thinking, yeah. What? It's pop.
I hope the conversation ended there. Like, where are you from? Ohio? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm from Ohio.
Yes, I'm Ohio.
I mean, that's
Now
the
give me
thing.
a fucking pop.
I was thinking about this today. There's somebody nice enough to buy pizza for us tonight, and then he was sort of asking, like, is the pizza okay? And New Yorkers are so, like, territorial and weird about pizza, and like, oh, it's got to be the proper way. It's fucking fried dough with, like, tomato sauce and cheese on it. It's not. It's not, a fucking cathedral. It's food. Somebody's gonna make it. I'm gonna eat it, and I'm gonna poop it out.
Right.
Like, don't get fucking too worked up about it. All right.
The highways are insane. We take gin to protect us, but I'll see you in hell before you see me in Lubbock, Texas. Well, I try to keep my head up. I try, yeah, I try a lot, but I never seem to make it past the goddamn opening slot. Well, it's not a bad crowd. out for a Monday. If you can't pay me, well, that's alright. Please just let me drink for free tonight. And Gideon's Bible knows the crisis comes when you're far from home. Out of Hattiesburg into New Orleans, out of Illinois into misery. A romantic comedy plays on TV. The words closed caption on the screen. Strange bar, strange town, my strange life. I love you, baby. I miss you, babe. Good night. Well, I learned all I could from the bad shows, more than I need to know about truck stop bathrooms, classic rock, right-wing talk radio. Well, I'll have one more picture of PBR on my credit card. If you don't hear my telephone ringing, it's the A&R, A&R, A&R. Well, I'm tired of waking up in a rest stop, tired of sending you my love from the back of a van in a Taco Bell parking lot. And Gideon's Bible knows the crisis comes when you're far from home. Out of Houston into New Orleans, out of Illinois into misery. A buddy cop movie plays on TV. The words closed caption on the screen. Strange bar, a strange town, my strange life. I love you, baby. I miss you, babe. Good night. Strange bar, a strange town, my strange life. I love you, baby. I miss you, babe. Good night. I love you, baby. I miss you, babe. Good night.
People always ask me when I'm going on tour, they're like, "You're playing where, and why?" And this is why.
Right.
This is exactly why. This is the center of the universe,
Right
as
on.
far as I'm concerned. You have the Police Academy movies somewhere, I'm sure. We're gonna lock ourselves in, and nobody leaves until we've watched all 6 of them.
Well, I know.
And I saw every one of those fuckers in the theater, so don't.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big part of my childhood. I had a Vietnamese foster brother. I taught him how to speak English almost exclusively from Police Academy movies and a couple of Cinderella cassette tapes.
Well, you know.
And you got those here too.
Actually, yes, I do. I have long cold winter on cassette. It won't last though. The kids are buying tapes. Whatever. But well, anyway, thanks. Definitely appreciate you guys coming in, and glad you're enjoying your stay here in Lima.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us, man. We love places like this. This is, I mean, as soon as Lou and I walked in, we were like, oh yeah, this is.
That's what we were talking. It was like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, this is a real record store. And yeah, I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. But okay, all right. Let's do this. Questions from the audience. We all good? We all good?
Is that hand sanitizer in the glove box?
I drank it on the way in.
Damn it.
Why do you think I like this place so much? This is awesome! I love this place. You were the load-in, the sleepy sound engineer. You were the green room carpet, the stale smell of beer. You were the lingering presence as the sun died in the room. You were the drink tickets.
karaoke bros passing one ID around. You were the prettiest girl in this goddamn one muscle car town. You were the words, you were the beat, the melody, the song. Now you're everywhere, now that I'm gone. You were the poorly grounded microphone, shock in my mouth. You were the crowd getting restless as the show headed south. You were the shithead talking trash from the bathroom line while I was tearing my fucking heart out in 3/4 time. You were the words, you were the beat, the melody, the song. Now you're everything, now that you're gone. You were the ashtray in a non-smoking room. You were late checkout in the early afternoon. You were something I've been chasing my whole wretched life. Something that won't let go of me no matter how hard I try. You were the words, you were the beat, the melody, the song, yeah. You were the words, you were the beat, the melody, the song. Now you're everything, now that I'm gone. Now you're everywhere, now that I'm gone. You're everything, everywhere, now that I'm gone. Thanks a lot, you guys.
There will be no mercy. Mental swords are missionary.